done the first time, except perhaps compromise and behave myself. But you know that totally insane love you only find when you're younger? Well, I had had enough of that. I just wanted someone I could live with, someone I could be friends with, someone I loved, but not someone who pressed my crazy button. And my crazy button has a hair trigger. It doesn't take much. In fact, I'd been diagnosed with schizophrenia only a couple of years before, and Vicky had been great about it. When I told her I didn't want to follow through with my doctor's treatment plan, enough drugs to make an elephant very relaxed, she was okay with it. And she didn't flinch when I told her I'd deal with it in my own way. Vicky is about as unflappable as a penguin, which can get pretty annoying to tell you the truth. It took me years to realize this has nothing at all to do with genetics. Her father, Steve, is about as laid back as you can possibly imagine anyone being. This guy was in the Army, spent his career working in the defense industry. He's a lifelong Republican, but very laid back, believe me. Vicky, on the other hand, only inherited just enough of that to get her through until something sets her off, and then Hiroshima. Which I suppose is only appropriate because she's half Japanese. We were leaving from Anaheim, California, a perfectly natural vacation spot for the rest of the world, but for us, it was that boring place we called home. Wherever you travel, that's just someone else's home, someplace someone wants to leave. Consider this the next time you're on a tropical isle or in some kind of paradise. Right now, in the Bahamas or in Tahiti or even in Paris, someone is thinking, what the fuck do I have to do to get out of this shithole? And we were getting out in a big hurry. I had printed out our itinerary in a binder, printed maps, listed all of our destinations, addresses, phone numbers, psychic hotlines, road conditions, weather maps, geological forecasts, seismic predictions, the Dow Jones report, my blood pressure, a place where we could buy shoes, anything we would ever possibly need. And Vicky brought along her iPad, just in case. Like I said, pain in the ass, but she thought we should have some way of getting unlost. You know, just in case. I tried to ignore it. I tried not to think that I'd wasted all of my time creating an itinerary that I'd printed up and put in a binder, and that I would spend the entire trip, 2 weeks in a car with a woman who was going to I told you so the entire way with her iPad. I tried not to think about that. I tried really hard. Fortunately, there's a Starbucks just a few minutes from home, and we stopped there first thing to get our required fix of caffeine. I'm not a big coffee drinker, but my wife has already tried rehab several times. They tried replacing coffee with heroin, methadone, crack, PCP, and Girl Scout cookies. Nothing could take its place. I had mapped out our entire itinerary with the idea that there should always be a Starbucks within stopping distance. This one would just be our first. We're just finishing our coffees when we pull into San Diego. Several years before, Vicky and I had seen this restaurant on diners, drive-ins, and dives called El Indio, and, well, we're round people. I should tell you that. We're not exactly what we'd call fat. Our doctors would, but we wouldn't. In the U.S., all we need to do is stand behind someone else and we look fine. Most people are fat and disgusting. Anyway, we're round. We're the kind of folks who remember a restaurant we saw on a TV show 6 years before and say, hey, we need to go there. I don't care how out of the way it is. So, we do. And it's so absolutely worth it, I'm considering vacationing in El Indio for 2 weeks. But Vicky reminds me she has a conference in Portland she has to get to on the 9th. That was how this trip came about. Vicky said, I've got to be in Portland on the 9th, and I said, why do that when you can live in a car with me for 2 weeks? My ideas aren't always great, but they do take you by surprise. I've crashed a funeral. I've driven to the Grand Canyon in a monsoon to kill myself. I've had conversations with coyotes out in the wild. As I said, not great ideas, but they're not immediately crazy on the surface. Mind you, Vicky went along with it. Somehow, she thought cramping us in a car together for 2 weeks would be fun, too.